The ancient mystics understood something that modern manifestation teachers completely miss. They didn't chant affirmations. They didn't chant, I am wealthy 100 times per day. They discovered something far deeper, the art of becoming a completely new person. The mystics called it the death of the old self. Carl Jung called it individuation. But most people call it today just stuck. Okay, because here's what happens. You know exactly, you've been doing the work for weeks, months, years. You know the mental techniques, right? The visualizations. You know Neville Goddard and the assumption technique, right? But if you noticed, no matter what you did, the external reality just didn't shift it, right? It's like something just doesn't want to sink in, right? No matter what you do. And before we go to the way deeper part, I want to ask you something. The mystics believed, like I said, in the death of the old self. So, what is the old self of you that has to die? Comment below. What is this old version of you that has to die, right? Right? That you need to let go of. Okay. Let me also give you another example about the situation, right? Something that is more real. So let's call this person Mark. So Mark stands up. He uses visualizations, right? He also practices affirmations. Then he works on his business, right? He wants to be financially free, okay? But as soon, even though he uses that, as soon as he is in these old habits of like working on the business or going out somewhere, he's back into his old self, okay? And on a single day, maybe he doesn't notice that much. He says, yeah, it's all good. But after months, the frustration accumulates and it starts to feel more real, more painful, right? And even though he uses these techniques and that he heard about, it just doesn't work. It doesn't sink in, okay? So what is the answer? What could it be? So Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will determine your life and you will call it fate. So the answer is in the hidden loyalty. A lot of people, like the Buddha, knew exactly. Humans are attached to the past, right? They are attached to things that they can let go of. And this is one of the elements. And that it's not just the techniques. Many people focus on these techniques. It's your identity. As long as the identity is there, no matter what you try to put on affirmations like, yeah, I can become wealthy, money is everywhere, you will sink into this old identity as long as you have not let go of that and also focused on the new one. You have to know exactly how it works, what I will teach you here, by the way. Okay? So if you just repeat these affirmations, this won't sink in because you're trying to put it on the old before you have let go of that, this hidden contract, right? This hidden contract, the hidden loyalty that you have not broken yet. Okay? So, like how Jung said in his quote, you need to make the unconscious conscious. That means, watch now, what is your old self? So, if you look at your reality, at your results, what do you need to believe in about yourself to create this reality? This is how you really find it out. Look at your reality and be radically honest. Do not to try to talk it nice, like everything is great and actually it's going well. Except it's really, really going well. Do not try to talk it nice, like everything's going well. Look at your results in life and the people you attract, right? The results in business. And now ask yourself, who do I need to be? What do I need to believe in to create this reality? So what is my identity, right? And then write it radically everything down. Don't censor that. Write everything down. Everything down. What do you need to believe in? Also how you see yourself, the clothes that you wear, how you look at the world, right? This is your old identity. And now what you do is, this is already the beginning of the exercise. What you do next is you ask yourself, okay, what is the consequence if you keep further believing that? If you keep further feeling that way you feel, and believing especially in this identity that you have. So if you keep acting that way, thinking this way, having habits that way as an effect of your identity. Okay, so a mental emotional level, right, and an action physical level. What is the consequence if you keep that? And is it really true that you're 24/7 like that? No one's 24/7 like that. No one's 24/7 lazy, for example, right? Every person has somewhere some moments where they're actually completely different, right? So it means that's not true that you are 24/7 like that. You don't have to be like that forever. It all determines what you let go of, what you focus on, right? So this is the first step. You become aware of the consequences, start to disidentify of this identity. Now, the next step is you need also to radically accept the pain, the emotional pain. That means you stop fighting it. Okay? You just radically accept this pain that you have right now about these triggers, about your situation, about the pain that you are hiding. You feel it in your body. You allow yourself fully to face that. And by the way, watch this picture now. This describes what needs to happen. What needs to happen to change your identity fully, right? To finally make progress. And this is, you need to become more conscious on the spiritual level, right? About these things. You need to become conscious of everything more. You need to let go of your emotions. Your old self is not just on a mental level. Your identity is also emotional level, is still attached to these emotions. And on a mental level, you need to understand the consequences you believe in the old. But there's still one thing missing. One thing is still missing. And this is, you need not just to take action on the physical level. It's something else. And this is, you need to become very, very conscious of your new self, right? What is your new self? What clothes does it wear? How does it think about the world? If you're not sure how your new self needs to be, look at the results that you want to have in 6 months and 12 months. Okay? Describe your life. And it has to come from your emotional center. If you just use your mind, it comes from the past. You need to feel it needs to be aligned with who you are. It needs to come from your heart, from your emotional center. Otherwise, you just recreate the past. Maybe you learned that dreaming high is anxious because in the past it didn't work out. No, you're too afraid to dream. This is your old self. Don't fall for that. Choose it from the intuition. Okay? And yeah, as you have chosen that, so choose your results that you want to have, and then based on the results, ask yourself, to have these results that you have chosen with your intuition, who do you need to be for that? How would you describe yourself? What is your new identity? What is your new role? Right? What clothes do you wear? How do you think about this world? Right? This is the thing that you need to figure out. And now you're completely aware of the gap between your old self and the ideal self. And what you need to do now is just take a single aligned action, okay? And also visualize that. Visualize and confirm this new identity, right? Here is a summary of everything that I've put in together that you see as a picture now, okay? This is the step process. And by doing that, by visualizing your ideal self, best case in the morning or evening, right? You connect positive emotions to that, right? And you connect negative emotions with your old self because now you become more aware of that, what's holding you back. And you accept it radically. Okay, but unfortunately, it can be hard to figure everything alone, and practice is different than, how to say, theoretical experience. So if you're still struggling with that, if it's still difficult for you to figure it out on your own, or you just want to move faster, click on the link below for the discovery call, and we will look how I can help you with that, right? So that you make progress with that. Also, comment below, what is your old identity that finally has to die? It's not the techniques, remember that. Okay? And see you next time. Bye bye.